It's off the tracks. It's Jhett. It's Rafe. We're back.
Indeed, we are.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a very long time.
But we're here.
We're here.
We're back in the old studio.
You see the studio?
What do you think? What do you think?
I feel like we've completely rejuvenated it.
It's a little darker, but at the same time, we got splashes of color. Let us know how you like the new look here.
We forgot to do something. We forgot to put those on the video.
It'll be fun.
Should I go grab them?
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got a pack opening. I'm big into packs. Rafe is not quite yet.
Not quite. He's hoping to get me into it.
But I'm thinking he's going to get into it. We've got a couple Topps baseball holiday boxes. We're going to do a pack opening that should come out Saturday. We're hoping to, at least. Don't listen to our... I've come to like learn, don't listen to what we say when videos will come out.
Don't.
Because
something...
It's never
when
right.
we say it'll come out on someday, something will come up, and it will not.
100% not. But definitely look out for that video. That one should be fun. I'm trying to get him into it. I'm big into sports cars.
I think that computer just turned on.
I did see that as well.
Kind of freaked
Mr.
me
Ali,
out.
Mr.
Kind of
Ali's
freaked
sitting
me
over
out.
there. He's gonna
He
have
wants to be a guest, so.
Right, that's fine. Speaking of guests, we're looking to get some guests on the pod.
We are.
Tell us who you want to see on the podcast. We've got a couple of names in mind. We want.
Hopefully, we can start getting people like actually.
That's what I want. That's what I'm kind of like waiting for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Is to when we can actually have people come in and sit down and talk with us about stuff.
Right.
Having guests on here, that kind of want to get me to a rant.
Okay.
You know, I know the Malcolmson brothers. They do a podcast. Shout out to them. They've commented on a podcast. One of them have commented on a podcast before.
Appreciate that.
We absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'd love to have you on at some point in time.
Absolutely.
But that reminds me of the Indiana Hoosiers. Because if you want to hear opinions and stuff and you know, information about the Indiana Hoosiers, you definitely want to go check out their podcast.
100%.
They're doing a great job over there. But man, I'm just watching. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday night?
I don't.
It was Tuesday or Wednesday night. We're playing Illinois. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man. I knew it was coming too, that we were going to lose that game as well.
Yep.
Because that's just kind of what Indiana does. And I'm going to be honest. I was thinking about after that game having Rafe come in here on that Wednesday and shooting a podcast in here and just rant and having its own individual video about ranting about the Indiana Hoosiers.
Right.
Because it's so... It bothers me so bad. You're looking at the Indiana Hoosiers are 9-8 on the year. 9-8 are the Indiana Hoosiers. Some of the losses that we've had, and I get you can look at it and be like, oh, well, it's a completely different year. There's no fans. That's no excuse to lose games at Assembly Hall.
Right.
And we've lost to Rutgers at Assembly Hall, Illinois at Assembly Hall. Did we lose to Northwestern at home? Was that game at home?
I don't know.
Northwestern, who is not doing that well. I've got the schedule right here. We lost to Northwestern at home. Barely beat Penn State. I think that game went into overtime. That was at home. Lose to Purdue at home. And we got killed. And the game after you beat the number 4 team in the country, you lose to Rutgers at home. And I knew it. I knew they were going to lose that basketball game, too, against Rutgers. Mm-hmm. And everyone I was talking to, I was like, they're going to lose this game against Rutgers because that's what Indiana does. They beat a big opponent. They make us think that they're legit.
And then
they figured it out, and then they lose to Rutgers at home. And then you lose to Illinois at home. And we've got a game, today the 7th? No, that's tomorrow. Right?
Yeah, today's the 6th.
Today's the 6th. You got Iowa at home tomorrow. Am I even intrigued? Not really. I can't watch Archie Miller coach another basketball game. I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Why does Indiana, hear me out on this, and you know, I always say I'm a lifelong Indiana fan, but I'm not like crazy into Indiana sports. I can't tell you every single coach that we've had since Bobby Knight. But have we had a good coach since Bobby Knight?
Not that I remember. No, none that stand out anyway. Now you can be like, you know what?
Yeah. Like that was a guy that I wish we'd still had.
Yeah.
And I can't look back at any guy before Bobby Knight and say, man, I wish we had that guy back.
Right.
I wish we had Bobby Knight back.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Knight knew how to win basketball games. He knew how to bring people into Indiana, and he knew how to coach them. Mm-hmm. Indiana has a perfect opportunity because the meta of college basketball is changing. The meta of winning was your one-and-done guys. You bring them in, you go win a national championship. Now you're looking at it, and it's kind of like, okay, you're looking at these more experienced teams that are winning national championships, and you've got a great opportunity to do that the next few years. You've got all these freshmen in, which, by the way, I would love to see play more. Christian Lander should be playing more.
100%.
Anthony Leal should be playing more. Jordan Geronimo should be playing more basketball. I love Jordan Geronimo.
Especially the way he's played the past couple of games, too. Like, how do you not just give him more minutes? I mean,
and I think you look at Lander in that Illinois game, and he hit the 2 threes, and before he had the 2 defensive breakdowns and the foul, he was playing great basketball. Yeah. And that's a starting caliber player over a guy like Al Durham, who has played better, yes, but he's still not good.
Yeah. And the only way you're going to get these guys better is if you get them out there and play them.
Groom them.
Against actual competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we should have done that from the beginning of the year. We should have had Christian Lander playing. We should have had Anthony. I mean, we should have Christian Lander almost starting. Almost. I would rather watch Christian Lander go out there and turn the ball over than watch Al Durham go out there and turn the ball over. Yeah. Because I can't take watching Al Durham play basketball. I can't take it. I don't like Al Durham in the slightest. Rob Finney. I like Rob Finney. I'm a Rob Finney fan, but he had 0 points in the Illinois game. Didn't score. He didn't contribute to the game. You know, I'm not saying that these guys are bad guys. Like, I don't have anything personal against Archie Miller and Al Durham and Rob Finney, but I've got to see more production there.
Yeah.
And they're not doing their job right. And when you're at Indiana and you're wearing an Indiana polo on the sidelines, you're wearing an Indiana uniform, diehard fans, we expect production. And there's just not been any production. We've lost 8 games on the year, and we don't have, other than that Iowa game at Iowa, we don't have that defining win of, here, this is the Indiana Hoosiers. They belong to play basketball. And I know I'm talking a lot. I'll let you talk a little bit. But I think that game against Illinois, that'd put them at 10 wins, but 10-7. And if you win 15 games on the year, 14, 15 games on the year, you can't not be put in the tournament. You beat Illinois and Iowa.
Okay. I mean, obviously this team is not going to contend for a championship this year. And even though doing it now would still probably be too late, why not just put the freshmen in, try and build something for future years where you can contend for something instead of not doing it, and now you just have yourself screwed for even more years and you're still not winning. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it from the beginning. I was like, okay, maybe he just wants his experienced guys out there to try and win more games. That didn't work, obviously. At some point, you got to be like, you know what? Let's build for the future. Maybe try to have some of these other guys stay. Trace Jackson Davis. I don't think he'll stay. Maybe he will. I don't know.
I think we disagree there. I think Trace Jackson Davis will stay.
I hope he does. I like him.
Trace Jackson Davis, to me, is one of the best players in the country. Yeah. But he's not getting that in the big boards. He's not getting that in the mock drafts yet. Right. I think you're going to see that because he's a sophomore, isn't he? Or is he a junior?
He might be.
Is Trace Jackson Davis a sophomore or junior? We're going to look it up here.
But, I mean, yeah, I think get the freshmen in there, especially Lander and Leal, guys who have a ton of potential, who can, who show flashes of guys who can really carry this team to wins.
He's a sophomore. I thought that was right. And he's almost averaging a double-double. He's averaging 20 and 9 this year. Yeah. And I expect him to stay.
I hope he does. That'd be a good piece to keep around.
I think as a sophomore, I would be surprised if he left. Maybe junior year. Maybe we're talking about this differently next year at this time. Yeah. But I think next year he will be back. And Archie Miller, they've got him for what? They've got him for 3 or 4 more years, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they've got him for like 3 or 4 more years under contract. Buy him out.
Yeah.
Go get someone else. Because he is not the guy. Can he recruit your Indiana guy? And I've said, if you could have Tom Crean and Archie Miller and put them together, we would have a great coach.
Yeah.
Tom Crean could score. He could go get your guys from the Congo and guys that you would never expect to be good basketball players and bring them in, and they're the number 2 pick in the draft.
The in-state guys, though.
The in-state guys, he could never get them.
They weren't going to Indiana, that's for sure.
Couldn't play defense, though. Tom Crean's team could never play defense. They'd score 90 points, but they'd give up 92, and they would lose basketball games. You look at we have a Trace Jackson Davis highlight, apparently. Archie Miller can play defense. Get your Indiana guys. Yep. but he can't friggin' score. They can't shoot. Their free throw percentage on the year's got to be.
I've almost accepted that at this point.
Yeah.
For Indiana, though. It's been like that for a few years now.
We're just not going to win that way, so might as well figure it out. Off of Indiana, though, stay in the sports realm for a little bit. I know we talk about sports a lot on here, and I want to get away from that a little bit. Like, obviously, we want to talk about sports, but I want to be able to make the pod enjoyable for everyone.
Of course.
But staying in the sports realm, Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yes. Big game.
We're shooting this on Saturday. Super Bowl tomorrow. It's a big game. Your predictions for the postseason turned out pretty solid.
They weren't bad. I was almost perfect on the NFC side, and the Packers lost to the Bucks. AFC, I was so on that side. But yeah, Chiefs, Bucks. I don't know
Who you got?
because Tom Brady.
That's what I'm
Brady
saying.
now he's proved. He beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Green Bay. It's like, okay, maybe he really isn't done yet.
I've been saying this. I think the Chiefs will win, but if you can't bet against Tom Brady.
You can't. It's not as easy as a decision as it looks on paper.
Right. And I think, was I wanting a Packers-Chiefs game? Yes.
Yeah.
Am I disappointed with a Buccaneers-Chiefs game? No. I think this will be a great football game throughout. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady, man.
Yeah.
It's really hard to bet against Tom Brady. And I don't think that this will be a one-sided game. And I might be wrong. I mean, there was a guy out there that bet 1.5K on the Buccaneers scoring 0 points. And that'll pay out at $75,000, dude.
That would be impressive.
That would be very impressive. But no, I can't wait to watch this game, to be honest. I'm very excited for it. And especially after we've had a few down years for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They haven't been very good Super Bowls lately. I want a good one. I just want a good offensive showing. They've been boring the last couple of years.
Yeah. I would say that I'm leaning Chiefs right now.
I want the Chiefs to win. And I've noticed watching like TikToks and stuff and on Twitter and stuff, no one wants the Chiefs to win. People are cheering for Tom Brady. Yeah. And I didn't expect that. I hate Tom Brady.
I don't know what it is. Maybe because the Chiefs won last year. They don't want to. I don't know. Maybe people just want to see Tom Brady win a 7th ring.
I wouldn't.
Here's a good question that I saw brought up. If Tom Brady wins the 7th ring, is he now the GOAT of all GOATs? Is he above Michael Jordan? Is he above Serena Williams? Is he the guy in sports?
I think the conversation opens. And I think look at some of the accolades that Tom Brady has. We're going to live in a world where he wins this ring. Mm-hmm. He was in New England. He overcame a 28-3 deficit in the Super Bowl and won that game against a very good Falcons team.
Yes.
He then proceeds to leave New England, go to a different team, and he gets all of this crap from guys like Max Kellerman that he's done and he should have retired. And it's Bill Belichick's, he's a system QB. And I said this in an earlier pod. Tom Brady's not a system quarterback. But people were saying that, and he goes and proves people wrong and wins a Super Bowl against one of the best offensive teams in NFL history.
Yep.
But I think there's some other things that go in. You look at the Eagles' loss in the Super Bowl. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to look. Tom Brady, if he wins this game, I don't know, man. Will he be the undisputed greatest of all time in all of sports?
It's a good question.
That is a great question.
And I don't know. I mean, I think he's close. I think he's definitely close.
I think it's 100% close.
As much
top 2 at least.
As people may not want to say it.
I think. Wow, that's a good question. I think it would. I think yes.
Yeah, I think you give it to him. I mean, he's what now? 40 what?
42.
And winning a 7th championship.
Wow.
I mean, that's impressive.
And then leaving your dynasty.
Right. Yeah, leaving a team where he could have easily done this again. Saying, you know what? I don't want to, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to stay there. Go somewhere else. Go to Tampa. And at first, things looked shaky. I was like, well, maybe this was the wrong decision. But he stayed the course, and obviously they won enough games, get in the playoffs. Basically, I feel like it was a shock win against the Packers in the NFC Championship, get to the Super Bowl. I mean, he just keeps going. And I don't know who's going to stop him. Maybe it is Patrick
Hopefully
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe it is. We'll find out, though.
I'm hoping it's the Chiefs. I'm cheering for the Chiefs. You know, we're staying sports realm. You're wearing Dodger blue today. I'm disappointed in you, Trevor.
Man,
I knew he wasn't coming back.
I had internally accepted the fact that Trevor Bauer was not going to be a Cincinnati Red next year.
Right.
And I think that kind of softened the blow for me whenever I woke up and saw that Trevor Bauer posted on his YouTube channel and finally made his decision, and it was the Dodgers. I was shocked it was the Dodgers, I will say.
I can't believe it.
I think I am more mad at the Reds than I am at Trevor Bauer, though.
Why is that?
Because I honestly feel like they did not make any attempt at all.
The Reds are stupid.
They are.
They're trying to trade everyone.
I don't understand it. They finally make the playoffs again this past year. They have a good offense when it shows up. They had unbelievable pitching. Yep. Unbelievable pitching. As soon as the offseason starts, we're hearing rumblings of them trying to get rid of Sonny Gray.
Luis Castillo.
I mean,
Anthony DeSclafani's gone.
Yeah, he signs to the Giants, right?
Yeah, Kurt Casale's gone.
The best, I mean, not the best friend, but like the guy that would work with Trevor Bauer every game, that was his catcher.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what the thought process is going into this offseason.
It bothers me. It really does, because the Reds had a good-looking team, and you look for the future. I mean, you've got – hopefully you can see Hunter Green pitching soon. Hopefully you can see Nick Lodolo coming up in the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. Jonathan India in the next couple of years. Jose Garcia. All these guys – I mean, their farm system is not crazy deep.
There's still those guys that could be there.
It could really be game changers.
Not saying you have a dynasty set in stone here, but you could win for years and years if you can keep this team here now and then, bring those guys up and build them. But they kind of just threw that all away.
And it bothers me because the DeSclafani one hurt. Yeah. I liked Anthony DeSclafani, and he was a great pitcher for the Reds, and he's not your number one guy, but he's going to be a good 4 or 5.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
And that's what the Reds want, to just get one number one pitcher and have 4 number 5s. That's what they want. And Trevor Bauer going to the Dodgers shocks me.
It did shock me.
Because he's a guy that wants to pitch every 4th day.
Right. And that pitching rotation is at the deepest, not only the deepest in the league, it's the best.
Let's just join the best pitching staff in baseball. It just bothers me, Trevor. And I'm talking like I'm actually talking to you right now, and that's what I'm going to do here. Trevor, it bothers me how you say you want to make the game more fun. You want to make the game more interesting. And you join a super team that just won a World Series. How does that make it interesting?
Right.
We know who's winning the World Series now.
I think, okay.
I hope he gets shot in the nuts.
Would you rather see him go to the Mets?
Yes.
Obviously you'd rather see him go to the Mets, but...
No. Well, I'd rather see him go to the Mets than the Dodgers, but I didn't want to see him go to the Mets.
But basically...
Because I like the Yankees.
Basically, what I'm hearing is... It was 3 teams going after Trevor Bauer, and it was the Padres, Mets, and Dodgers.
I like the Padres.
Padres were out after they made those trades, just didn't have enough money.
Right.
So now you're looking at Mets and Dodgers, and, it seemed like he was about to sign with the Mets. Guys within who have connections and within baseball were basically saying it was confirmed, Bauer to the Mets, basically same contract structure, the 40-some million first 2 years.
But it was more for the Mets.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was probably would have worked out to about 110 million over 3 years with the Mets.
Yeah,
it was more of a front-loaded contract like this one is with the Dodgers. Yeah. And then something changed within those last few hours. I don't know. And he signs with the Dodgers. It's about 102 million over 3 years with this contract. I don't think the money was ever the issue with Trevor, though. Obviously, he was going to get paid.
It was about winning for Trevor.
It was about winning, and I think more so it was about him getting the technology that he wants for pitching because he's big on analytics and measuring.
Which, keep in mind, the Reds brought in multiple people for you, bud.
Right. The Reds did supply that, but I think it was more. Yeah, it was more so like getting that cutting edge technology for taking measurements of his pitching because he's big on all that stuff. But yeah, I just don't think the Reds honestly made a true offer to him. They may have talked to him a little bit, but I don't know.
This brings up a question that I didn't want to ever answer. I had an answer to it before this, and my answer might change. Should there be a salary cap in baseball?
It's tough because you feel like, I don't know. You feel like without it, there's pros and cons, and with it, there's pros and cons. I don't know. Because you would think smaller teams would have the same chance as bigger teams without a salary cap, but no, they absolutely don't because they just can't afford this. Obviously the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to spend hundreds of millions on 2 or 3 guys.
They're going to buy rings.
Right. So I think I would like to see maybe not necessarily the exact same structure as the NBA, but I like what the NBA does with the supermaxes and, incentivizing guys who stay with their teams.
Yep.
Maybe implementing some sort of incentive for guys that stay with their current teams, I think would help anyways if you don't want to go full salary cap. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough because you've got, let's look at some competitors for the MLB season. The Dodgers, the Mets, Yankees, Padres. Mm-hmm. Am I missing anyone?
No, I mean those are
your four big market teams.
Your big teams.
What are the frickin' Reds supposed to do?
Right.
That are in Cincinnati. Who wants to go live in Cincinnati? Who wants to go live in I don't know, Kansas City, Missouri?
All right.
No one.
When you're a guy like Trevor who can go to Los Angeles, who's a guy who's big on building his brand, that's the mecca of entertainment. He can build his YouTube channel, his momentum channel. He's in the perfect spot for that. And at the same time, he can win and win a lot.
And you're going there, but it just doesn't. I don't think a ring for you would impress me, Trevor, to be perfectly honest with you. And I'll just leave it at that because you joined a super team and you joined what you said that you didn't like.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, you've lost a lot of my respect, to be honest. I mean, you were probably my favorite player in the league, I think, without a question. Well, no, Ronald Acuna Jr. has always been my favorite player in the league before he was even in the MLB. You're probably my second favorite player in the league. You're not dude, no. You lost a lot of my respect as a player. Yeah. Moving off of sports.
We're off of sports for
today. I've kind of been talking a lot. WandaVision.
Oh, boy.
Have you watched WandaVision?
If you haven't, and you have Disney Plus, please.
Well, I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't watched it.
You kind of, I don't want to say you have to be a Marvel fan and seen the Marvel movies to watch it.
There are spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, there's about to be spoilers. So if you want to watch WandaVision and haven't watched it.
Should we put the timestamp when we're done?
I'll put the timestamp on when we talk about this. So you don't catch any spoilers. So you can skip ahead from this. But spoilers are about to come. Anyway, if you watch the Marvel movies and you've seen them all and you're into the whole story and the MCU, this is definitely a good one. The first few episodes, they're kind of slow. You first start watching them and it seems like it's just Wanda and Vision in a sitcom. And you're like, okay, this might be kind of stupid. But you quickly find out that there's something way bigger going on. Anyways, I'll skip through the tidbits.
The minor details.
Yeah, the minor details. It's kind of the first few episodes. Episode 4 is when you really things really start to shake out. So obviously you kind of figure out that there's something bigger going on. Basically, Wanda and Vision are trapped inside of a sitcom. Initially we don't know how they got there or why they're there, what's going on. So this takes place after Endgame because the snap happens. And then people come back from the snap in the show, and you see that. So Vision dies in Infinity War. Thanos takes the Infinity Stone from his head, which obviously kills him. And Wanda and Vision were like a thing. They were, I'm assuming, dating. They were in love, nonetheless. Sure. So Wanda goes and gets Vision's corpse, his dead body. Takes him to this town called Westview. I think it's in New Jersey. And somehow she creates this big anomaly, is what they're calling it in the show, where this whole town is under Wanda's control, and they're all in a sitcom. They're stuck in a sitcom. And basically she's able to bring Vision back alive, and They're living the life that she wants. It's just her and Vision, and they eventually have twins. So they, obviously people start reporting these missing persons. Family that lives outside of this town. The family that's living in Westview, they aren't answering their phones because they're all trapped in the sitcom. They don't even remember their lives that they had. So obviously FBI goes to check it out. This organization called SWORD goes to check it out. And one of the agents from SWORD goes in and she goes into this barrier into Westview. She gets trapped in the sitcom too. She gets blown out because she makes Wanda mad.
Which I saw something that she was like because didn't she like blow her out like through bookshelves and stuff?
Yeah,
right. Did she give her powers when she did that? Like
probably
like all the energy and stuff.
Yeah, in the comics, the lady, the agent from SWORD who goes in, her name is Monica, and I can't remember if she's the daughter or the granddaughter of the character who I also can't remember the name, but she was real good friends with Captain Marvel in the movie Captain Marvel. They were both the pilots. They were pilots together and everything. But she's related to that family somehow. And in the comics, she is a superhero. Again, can't remember her superhero name, but she's like this. She can turn into any form of energy. And the theory is that's how she got her powers, because in episode 5, they take an x-ray of her after they find her when she gets blown out of the barrier. And like in the x-ray, she's just all energy. She's all white energy. So that's probably how she got her powers. Anyway, it's just really good. Like, I could get into all the different theories of everything happening. Her twin brother comes back in the end of this last episode, who also died. But here's the big thing of this whole show right now is so her twin brother, who's Quicksilver, dies in
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron. Now, the Quicksilver that comes back is the Quicksilver from X-Men, which is made by Fox, a different company. Now, the actor who played the Quicksilver from Fox, and it's not the actor who played the Quicksilver in the MCU. That seems like a minor detail. They just recasted him, but it's actually big because now this brings in the theory of Wanda opening up the multiverse, which then opens up the possibility of, your Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, your Miles Morales Spider-Man. Who's the other one who played Spider-Man? What's his name?
Did you say Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield?
Andrew Garfield, yeah. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, all coming in and interacting with the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Or, different, Venom coming in and being in the Spider-Man movies again in the MCU. And Wolverine, Fantastic Four, all these different possibilities of them joining the MCU. And this is why I love these movies. That's the big takeaway so far from the end of episode 5 is that the multiverse has somehow been opened, either by Wanda or some other force, because Wanda's controlling everybody in this town.
Sure.
She knows what goes on. She literally, she explained this. She explained it by saying she doesn't do it, but she actually does this, trying to, because Vision doesn't know what's going on, but he's starting to figure it out. And she's like, what do you think? I'm just making these people mow their lawns and getting them to their dentist appointments on time. Everybody in this town. Well, she's literally doing that.
I would love to see Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew Garfield as an actor. He was in Hacksaw Ridge. He was in a movie about the life of Mark Zuckerberg. I love Andrew Garfield is one of my favorite actors. I would love to see Andrew Garfield, and I think you will.
I think it's there's been rumors that it's been confirmed. There's been rumors that that wasn't confirmed. I don't know for the new Spider-Man movie. I think it's the new Spider-Man movie. Or the new Doctor Strange. The new Doctor Strange movie is going to be about the multiverse. I
also love Doctor Strange.
That's the title of his next movie. It has something to do with the multiverse. So there's a lot of, I think, for those of you who know about the phases in Marvel, phase 1 is like Iron Man.
I think that this sitcom, this series is really a big. It's a bridge.
Yes, this is kind of the door that opens up to this next phase. And honestly, I think this is going to be like one of the biggest phases that we've ever seen. Yeah. And I hope they bring, Doctor Doom to be the Thanos of this phase. The big supervillain who's, obviously you're going to have the smaller supervillains who lead up to the bigger one. I'm hoping it's Doctor Doom. I really like Doctor Doom.
I hope it is. Doc Ock.
He'll be
Dr. Octopus.
He'll definitely. He's rumored to be in the new Spider-Man. Like
I'm trolling, by the way. I just love Dr. Octopus.
The Dr. Octopus who played in the
Spider-Man ride.
No,
Orlando.
the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire.
Sure.
The actor who played him, he's rumored to be Dr. Octopus again in this next Spider-Man movie, which would be cool. And also the Jamie Foxx Electro from the Andrew Garfield. There's a bunch of rumors. We won't know till these movies come out, but I think this next phase of Marvel movies will be huge, and this series is it's been very entertaining, and it's a huge series. I think it's just the beginning of what's to come from Marvel, and I'm excited for it.
I just love, and we talked about the Loki series that's coming out.
Yeah.
I will watch if you give me like an alternate universe, like Man in the High Castle, if the Nazis won the war. There was a series I think it was called Washington, where if like George Washington would have died in the American Revolution, like what life would be like if the Nazis won the war or the British won the war. I don't know. And then the Loki series is about Loki, when he has the Tesseract.
Yeah.
And just vanishes because you don't see that in Endgame. It just happens, and you're like, oh.
In Endgame, they go back in time, the time heist to get all the stones again because Thanos destroys them, and they screw up with the stone that's in the Tesseract. I can't remember which stone it is, but they screw it up, and the Tesseract goes flying, and Loki picks it up, and he vanishes. So now you have this alternate timeline where Loki's running somewhere. He has the Tesseract again. What's he doing with that? That's what that Loki series is going to explore. And you have a bunch of possibilities coming from Endgame when they go back in time, and there's a lot of different things to explore there.
The one bald chick,
Nebula.
When Hulk went to go... No. When Hulk... Well, I guess it was Bruce Banner, wasn't really Hulk. When he went to go get the... what stone did he go to get?
Oh, yeah, the mind... or the time stone. It's the time stone.
When he went to get it, there's like there's thousands of
the ancient
timelines, and I think we're slowly seeing thousands of timelines kind of come. And I really want to see. I was talking to you about this. I would love to watch a series of Captain America delivering the stones back.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different stories. You can have a different episode of each stone he brings back, and you can tie it up with how he went back and found Peggy Carter. Sure. And ultimately, lived the life that he wanted with her and got married to her. Because at the end of Endgame, you see the scene where they're dancing in a house, and you see the ring. Obviously, they get married. So there's definitely, hopefully they do that. I don't know. Hopefully Chris Evans is up for another Captain America run.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We'll see that.
That song, I would love. I want to dance to that song at my wedding, by the way.
I was just thinking about that the other night. I was like...
I thought about it when I was watching. I was like, it was like a few days after. I was like, I'm dancing to that song.
I was like, if my wife, if I get married,
wife, lol.
Once I get married, at my wedding, if she does not want to dance to that song and understand the meaning of that to me,
get her out of there.
She's not going to be my wife. I'm not marrying her.
Do we tell them about the pact we have?
Yeah, I think it's
so
maybe not to too much detail, but you could tell the premise of the deal.
So. Timestamp. I think we're done.
Yeah.
If you have not watched Avengers Endgame and it's 2021, sorry, bud. Rafe and I have this pact where if Rafe's 40 years old and he's not married and I'm also not married, we're getting married.
It's just gonna happen. It may be illegal.
We can have that dance, but hey, we get a dance to.
You know what? We'll find a way around it.
But you talk about. Like Easter egg, because there's a lot of Easter eggs in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And that really I love Easter eggs in like video games, movies, whatever. That takes us to the Pixar Theory.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Pixar Theory. I could talk about the Pixar Theory all day long and not get tired.
It's been a while since because I watched videos on this like 2 years ago, and I was sucked into it.
Yeah.
That's why I really got into the Marvel movies, because all these movies are intertwined in the same timeline, and
everything just works together. It's a puzzle. It's a big puzzle.
Iron Man was the first Marvel movie that came out. It was like 11 years ago. But meanwhile, Captain Marvel, which just came out recently, is before Iron Man. Yeah. And they're connected, and just the thought process that I love it.
I love writing, and I'm slowly working on a novel, and I'm trying to like think, because all these guys that have wrote these movies in like it's
Star Wars.
So yeah,
I am so impressed by Star Wars. You know, the first 3 that come out is episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3 come out, and it's like George Lucas knew the vision, and he released these first the
WandaVision.
Yeah.
If you will.
And he releases 4, 5, and 6. But, and obviously, you find out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, and it's like, okay, that's crazy. But then you go to 1, 2, and 3, and you find out how that happened. It's impressive to me.
Yeah, how thought out, and the Pixar Theory, it's so thought out.
Yeah.
Like when did the first Pixar movie come out?
Oh gosh. Like
the first, in the Pixar, because everything's in the Pixar Theory.
Right. I mean, Toy Story was like 90. There's some earlier than this, but I'm trying to just think. I think Toy Story was like 98.
It was Toy Story.
It was Toy Story? So I think
Toy Story 95.
95. Yeah.
1995. That was almost 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, almost 30 years. It was 25 years ago.
And then you have what was the most recent one that's come out?
Probably Soul.
Yeah, Soul. And
that ties into it.
Yeah, they're just all connected.
It's just beautiful to me how it works out. I mean, honestly, it's so beautiful.
It really is. I just love stuff like that. I'm fascinated by stuff.
Boo from Monsters Inc. and
yeah, and gosh, does she grow up to be somebody?
She
in a
grows up.
movie?
So she's the one controlling all of it.
Really?
Because she goes on to be the witch from Brave.
Yeah, that's who.
And
it
you
is.
see the Sully
carving, the wood carving. Yep.
So she's pretty much because the Pixar Theory is essentially all about the witch from Brave and Boo trying to go back to find Sully.
Right.
That's what the Pixar Theory, and it just opens up all these other universes, and it brings them together, and it's beautiful to me, man. Mm-hmm. All the way up until WALL-E, where we're living up in space.
Yeah,
I love it. I can't get enough of Easter eggs and stuff like that.
It's more complex than that, because there's a reason why now society has to go up in space, and from these other movies too. It's not even it's just an evolution of society in these universes, and it's crazy.
It's all BNL.
Yeah, by and large, baby.
And you see it in every. You gotta just guys, honestly, I can't we as simpletons can't explain.
You have to watch. You'll have to watch a
Pixar.
video on it.
I think we might need to leave the link down below in the description.
I'll put a link to some of the video. I don't know if they've updated it with new movies yet or not.
They do with every movie. Every movie that comes out, they're how Soul ties into the Pixar Theory. How it's beautiful.
I remember. Yeah, I remember them doing that for some of the earlier movie, or not earlier movies, but movies that have came out after they made the initial video. Anyways, they're the Cannelton brothers, right?
I think it's something like that.
Something along. There's these two brothers who really go in depth on it and research it a ton. They're very good at it, and you'll have to watch videos on it because it's crazy complex, but not complex to understand, but complex to explain, and how everything ties in together. It's crazy.
It's a lot of videos, but before you go watch those videos, you should go watch all of our old recent videos,
of course,
and all the videos that we have coming out. We have a lot of content coming your way. It was a good one today.
Oh, yeah.
Good little pod. Good to be back. We got a lot of content coming your way. Pack opening should be out Saturday. Don't take my word for it. We got a lot of fun content. You guys gave us a lot of good feedback on the reaction video that we did.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to like that, so we'll try to do more of those videos.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do a lot more of those. And more videos like that where it's not just us talking, where we're doing something. We want to do maybe a tier list video where us two have to decide on one tier list. I don't know. It should be fun. As always, it's off the tracks. Peace.